Well, gang, it looks like we got another mystery at our hands, and somehow, some way, by the grace of God, I was finally able to land on Dr. J's channel. And this is a video that's going around. We're gonna be investigating this. Like the video if you love your mama, subscribe if you're brand new. Shout out to the homie Dr. J. Roll.
All of this was in Mexico and South America, but first we're gonna show you something really gnarly. We're gonna see an ET drone. Look at that sucker. This thing is filmed on someone's Ring camera, and he also set up security camera outside his house and saw this thing coming up. It came up so close to him, this darn thing interacted. Oh, that's really cool, by the way. Okay, here we go. Oh, we're going to get to this. You see that little gray sucker? Yeah. Believe me, we're going to get to that and a few.
We got some Scooby-Doo stuff happening, guys.
Let's see. This is just kind of giving you a little bit of the highlights. The rest of the UFO footage, I might skip for the night because honestly, the most important things is the alien footage, the actual grays, and there's more than one, by the way. And this, what you see on the right side right there, which it looks very similar to many of these, man. Like I said, as it comes up. Now watch this. You see this? This is floating in the air.
Yeah.
And look at that. It is coming outside the guy's house, or is it coming in his house? And what happens next, I have never seen. Obviously, this guy is some sort of contactee and abductee. Look at that. Yeah, sure, you could probably say something like this is fake, but remember, Jaime Maussan is known for...
Okay, from afar, it did look real, and the couple of UFO videos that we saw seems legit, but this one, I don't know. So the man got his hand, he's reaching for it.
Vetting his people before he puts up stuff. Look at this sucker. This thing is floating, I don't know, 3-4 feet above the air. It's not changing shape, but the lights, what is it doing? Is it scanning this guy's hand? He doesn't actually touch it. I mean, obviously he put up his hand close. I'd love to know what is going on through his mind. Look at that thing. It's like it's got a mind of its own. Look at the top left. This is his security footage, and look at it. I mean, it is literally like scanning his entire
listen, man, I am obviously a believer in the ET. I believe that we're not alone, all right? But this one, come on, man, that's some Scooby-Doo stuff, though.
Again, I would not be surprised if this guy is an abductee where the aliens seem to be following him around. Mind-blowing. Let me tell you one other thing about Mexico and South America. As you know, they have a ton more footage than we do. Their military, for the most part, doesn't shoot them down. And when Dr. Jonathan Reed was down there, and he was showing him...
that's like a reference to, you know, when we heard, I believe it was earlier this year or last year. It's crazy, man. Time is flying by real fast, right? But it is true that we heard these stories that first they said that they shot down America and Canada, right? US and America, they shot down a Chinese satellite. Then we heard that they shot down a UFO, right? We heard that story, and then the trail went cold. So that's what he was talking about there. Yeah, Mexico, when he said that, yeah, Mexico, they don't shoot down UFOs. That's what he meant, because America, they shoot down the aliens, man.
His teleportation device, the bracelet that came from Freddy the Gray after he hit him on the head with a branch after killing his dog Lucy. And Jaime Maussan was the one who flew him down. The president of Mexico even gave him the Secret Service to guard him because his life has been under threat. And he asked someone out there, because someone mentioned that they see aliens all the time, not UFOs, but actual aliens. And he said, why don't you film them? And the response of the Mexican was, why would I film a neighbor? That is how often they...
Say psych. Say yo that what? Yo. Okay, I want to see that video too, but it's wild to hear this. They say that, yeah, why would I film an alien? It's like a normal occurrence, right? It's just my neighbor, you know what I'm saying? It's just my neighbor. That is a crazy thought. So him just saying what basically he said that to them, it's a normal occurrence. It's like so normal that they're like, yeah, whatever, bro. Or it's like filming an alien is considered bad now because, hey, you're disrespecting the alien. Hey, what? You loco? You crazy? Sheesh, man.
They see extraterrestrials. Okay, I'm going to start to fast forward a little bit because the most mind-blowing of that, again, that's the same thing that came into 2-3 feet in front of the guy where he put his hand up. There it is again. I know he's got tons of footage of this. You know what? I'll just go ahead and let you see it.
Okay.
I mean, this is such a small thing. I know other people have reported, basketball-sized spheres that go around. Skinwalker Ranch is a place that is mention these things all the time. And look at that, it just went up.
Okay, if it's so normal, then why did he run? Like, he's like, oh, let me run. But this video clip seems genuine though. This one specifically, and it is true that there has been spheres the size of basketball, so whatever he said is actually correct. We've had those instances. Now, whether you want to believe it or not, that's different. Whether those like small spheres the size of basketball are those actual UFOs, or are they drones, or I don't think they're drones, but just to bring in the idea of that too, because we're having a conversation, are those made on this planet? Are those, let's just say, alien drones? Or are those like real UFOs? And if those are real UFOs, how would you sit inside? Of course, there's another conspiracy that the UFOs on the outside may appear small, but inside it's super big. If you ever seen Harry Potter Goblet of Fire, the very, very beginning, there's a scene where there's like small houses, but when you go inside, it's like huge on the inside, right? And of course, we always heard that they have like time travel technology, gravity, defying gravity, and crap like that. So maybe, I don't know, just a thought out there. Share your expertise as well, for sure.
Probably maybe docking back into the ship that it came from. Again, mind-blowing footage. Okay, you guys ready to see the grays? These are going to get freaky. Here we go. Okay.
So now, this is just like one giant video.
As you see, we're going to get to this might still be that drone, but look at that sucker. Yo. Now, everybody who's been abducted or contacted, someone recently wrote me in my comments last time when I put up the 16 aliens, and I asked about the very tall one that was shaking hands with someone, and how I thought it possibly could be fake, but then I showed you why it couldn't be fake, because of the long neck, because of the very skinny arms. How can someone possibly be in such an outfit? But the pot marks on the skin were consistent with other people say, and the eyes, the glistening of them and the reflection of them looked so well done. And remember, there's no incentive to create fake stuff anymore. You don't get...
You saw like that different camera angle? It's like, oh my bad, this like that? This like that? Yeah, that's crazy. Different camera angles, all of it, man.
Paid squat on YouTube. If this was the 80s and you sold it to CNN, well, yeah, you'll make $50,000, maybe more, if you had something like Stan Romanek's Alien.
We got more.
But nowadays, forget about it. Okay, here it comes. So obviously this guy is starting to see something. I don't see what he sees in this image, but wait till he pans to the left and you see his truck. Now look to the left of the truck. There you go. There you go. Look at that sucker. Now, why do aliens have this tendency to be watching you? Whether it be watching you through a window, whether it be peeking behind a...
So you're telling me he did not see that? It's a possibility. Perhaps it was really dark and... it was dark outside and didn't see. But so far it looks like like an image just stuck up there, right? It was not moving.
Tree, whether it be hiding behind a car... Which actually, if you remember that Vegas landing that happened.
Honestly, I was gonna bring that up. If this is the exact same thought that was going through my mind. Yeah, basically, we heard that a UFO crashed in the Vegas, at somebody's backyard in Vegas. That story is old now, but that was a very bizarre story and very credible story, because the police showed up and the police also caught and captured something falling from the sky. Exactly where the complaints came from, and the complaints came from a family in Vegas, and they said that they saw 9 feet, 10 feet tall aliens in their backyard, right? You heard that story. If you did not, well, that's a recap, that's context for you. So it does have the same kind of properties, same kind of vibe to it.
Happened last year, a little over a year ago. One of them was in the construction vehicle, like I don't know what, I don't want to call it a bulldozer, but let's just say bulldozer. It was sitting in there. It's like these things have no qualm watching us from a short distance.
Yeah, why?
But this goes to my point that I've been making all these other videos. They're not hiding anymore. They want us to see them. Again.
To be honest, seems like Scooby-Doo situation, man. It don't feel real, but let's keep on. I heard there's more clips as well, but
and this is feeding disclosure. Now, if this footage circulated 30 years ago, people would, skeptics would come out of the woodwork saying this is fake, this is CGI.
Even now, I feel like that people would say CGI now more than before, because 30 years ago I would say like people would generally lose their mind and would either go loco or they would be like, nah, it's fake, that's it. But nowadays it's like, if it's real, whatever. Could be CGI, could be AI. Nowadays you would say that a lot more, because even though I'm a believer, I'm looking at it, I'm like, don't feel real. And even if it's real, it's like we're so desensitized is my point. Back in the days, I guess you wouldn't necessarily say CGI. You could, but now it's a lot more. But okay.
This is, somebody in a mask, but no.
Feels that way, to be fair.
If I spoke Spanish, I would have translated to what Jaime Maussan said. But based on everything that I've seen and the little Spanish I understand, this person had been visited before multiple times. That's why he set up cameras around his house. But this particular day, he came out looking for what he thought he saw, which ended up being this creature. This is not the only one. This is actually probably one of my favorite. Okay. You'll see this guy again. Let me just get you to the next one. Okay, here's here's more color. Same guy. Isn't it freaky, guys? So, you out there who's been abducted or contacted or seen aliens walking into your room or anywhere, have you seen this type? This looks like Skinny Bob, but a slight variant. And again, going back to the comment I had on that 16 real alien videos that I posted a few days ago, someone told me, yes, they are contactee, abductee, and they see all sorts of different types of grays. Short, medium height, tall, pot marks on their skin, bigger heads, smaller heads, bigger eyes.
Guys, honestly, what do you think of this? Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? One, if you believe this, two in the comments if you don't believe this. I'm sorry, guys, I don't believe this one. I'm sorry, but yeah, I just don't believe it. Just don't believe it, man. Although I'm a believer, but like I don't believe this clip. But okay, let's continue. Maybe there's. Oh shit! Yeah, okay. Let's see. Let's
smaller eyes, and also remember, you see those black eyes? Those technically are not eyes. If you remember Colonel Philip Corso, who wrote The Day After Roswell, who worked in the DOD in the Pentagon, and he was given a file of alien artifacts and also files pertaining to Roswell. He was also, in his artifacts was, okay, this is amazing too, was a lens. And he said it was actually this eyelid. This eye, and basically what he said, it was a light correcting lens that's added after. So people like Travis Walton, who have been abducted and seen the grays, said on board their ships they don't have these black eyes. You see large eyes with pupils, and I believe he said they were brown eyes. So these things are probably wearing this to see in the dark, and probably other things.
I mean, makes sense. And I'm not saying like what I'm trying to say is that I don't believe this video. They perhaps look like this, and maybe that's why like this video seems believable to him, or maybe to you as well, that perhaps they actually look like this. But what I'm trying to get at here is that I'm assuming this is more like a person in the alien outfit, right? Just trying to play pretend in that aspect. Maybe this was a Halloween thing. I mean, this was shot, it said October the 16th this year, so it's not even almost a month old at this point. I'm assuming it's a person with a person dressed up like a Scooby-Doo situation, like I said. But I'm not saying that they might not look like this. They probably, I guess one of their kind probably look like this, because if you heard this or not, there was a Canadian security guy higher up in place. Now he's no longer with us, but he was very, very believable. I believe he was a Canadian defense minister. Most of you probably know what I'm talking about. Canadian defense minister that came out that said that there are about 9 alien different kind that he's aware of, and some of them are here, and some of them, or at least one of their kind, looks so close to us humans that they're also walking among us, but you wouldn't even know that they're actually ET or aliens because they look so much like us, and they're like the small grays, the big grays, the tall grays, the small greens. He was talking more about that, and he was in a very good high-ranking position. So, you know, I'm not talking about like anybody from the street saying that yeah, they saw aliens, oh, they were visited, or none of that. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not true. I'm not even getting there, but I'm talking about a guy that is a defense minister, or was a defense minister for Canada. RIP to him, he passed away, no longer with us, but he said that, and he went even on the live news to talk about it. How crazy is that? He went over on live news. I'm gonna try and find a clip right now for you.
Mind you, this is advanced technology these things have. Isn't that freaky? Yeah, this is why I had to get this to you tonight. This is definitely because it.
Okay, I'm not sure if this is the correct video or not, but this is that guy. Maybe now it rings. Maybe now it's coming to you, but let's actually check it out for a second.
And the whole are his opening words. And he spent 20 minutes telling me the and more within the limit of his oath. I guess it went as far as he could. And he said,
this is not the video that I saw personally. It seems like a different one, but let's continue.
Was the most important thing he said during that period was that there have been face-to-face meetings between United States officials and visitors from other star systems, period. No equivocation. And so with that assurance, and my own conviction based on what I already knew, I said I'll go to the meeting, and at the meeting I said that UFOs are as real as the airplanes flying overhead, and that was it.
And it's been reported in a couple interviews that you've mentioned there's a federation of alien species.
Okay, holy.
Do all of the alien species kind of work together, or is there warring species that war with each other?
Well, I only know about the Galactic Federation, and I don't know much about it, so I shouldn't talk about it. But they are concerned about what's going on in the world, and they have been working through individuals. They'll pick out a few individuals and visit them, or talk to them telepathically, or send information to them by channeling. I have a very close friend who was writing a second book right now with channeling from a species called the Basidas. Very few people have heard of it. They have a deal that they won't interfere. But I think that there's also a loophole if things get bad enough that they would make exceptions. But we can't count on them.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we can count on them, but we shouldn't count on them because they say...
That's crazy to me. And the reason I seem to, or I tend to believe him, listen, he could be, no disrespect though, no disrespect, he's no longer with us, and that's the last thing. I mean, I wouldn't ever want to do something like that, so no disrespect though, but how can I say it in a nice way, right? I don't think he is, but of course, like, if we're having a discussion and critics gonna say this, and if you want to be critical of this, because this is a very, like, I don't want to say sensitive topic, but it's an important topic. You know, two of the biggest questions we have, whatever, what happens after we die, and are we alone in the universe or not? So this is that second big question. It could be that he's not mentally stable. Again, no disrespect though, just trying to have that conversation here. RIP to him. Maybe he's not mentally stable and he's making up stories. I don't believe that. Personally, I don't believe that. I think he's speaking the truth here. But, you know, that's one of the factors. Secondly, whatever he's saying is actually the truth. Third of all, maybe it's half true, half lies. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things. Could be that too, that he heard this from somebody and he's like, okay. Or it could be that he heard this from somebody close to him, or somebody he believes it 110%, so he's like sharing that information. Nothing wrong with that, but what if that person that he heard this from, or whoever he heard all this from, is lying? Or what if they also heard from somebody that were lying to them, and he heard from them, and you know, it's like a second hand, third hand, fourth hand information getting passed around. It's one of those things. So make of it as what you will, but he was the Canadian Defense Minister, and seems very plausible. But let's continue.
You clean up your act. You're in charge. It's your planet, and if it comes to a dead end, it will be because you let it or made it a dead end, because it wasn't necessary, and you had everything going. It's one of the best planets in the whole universe, and
Crazy.
Everybody covets the fact that it's so good, and you have been destroying it. And this is something that we've tried to let you know by various ways over a long period. The individual communications always say, look, there are things you've got to do. Stop your clear cutting, stop your fracking, stop using fossil fuels, because there are better ways.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal.
Okay, let's continue with this clip now.
It's brand new, I believe. Here's the date. This is October 16th, 2024. Brand stanking new. Yes, and right here in the comments is if this is the first place you've seen it, because no one else has covered this in America that I know of. And believe me, I pay attention all the time.
Oh wow, I love you, Dr. J. But let's actually get to this clip. I'm interested by whatever happened here.
The one that was coming up from that little ledge that was like 10 feet, 10 feet down to get to that next level. Okay, now, a lot of people will say this actually is the Stan Romanek one that was peeking through the window. No, that is actually a completely different one. And if I'm not mistaken, this one that you're seeing right now, the reason why its hand is in front of its face, apparently it was reacting to the flash. Okay, there is some more. And like I said, there is actually a UFO video at the end of this, but I'm going to bypass this. Let me back this up a little second. I don't want you guys to miss those. That is a couple more. These are not necessarily new, these right here. I know some of these have been from the last couple years, but the ones I just showed you are brand spanking new. But these could be new to you too, because sometimes a lot of stuff that happens in South America and Mexico just does not make its way here.
Crazy.
I'm not sure if this was a trail cam or maybe just someone saw it. This is in a cemetery, by the way. Look at the length of the arm. Look at how skinny the legs are. This is why it can...
Yeah, I don't know why, but these pictures seems legit to me. Probably because the quality is bad. And you know the deal, the worse the quality is, the real it appears. I don't know, man. I don't know. Seems very, very, I would say intriguing nonetheless. Very fascinating stuff, for sure. I love it. I love watching it, but do you believe it? That's the real question. Guys, check out this video on the screen, because we apparently had a UFO landing video in this one. Or a crash. It's very hard to say, was it a crash or did it land? It feels like it was a landing video of a UFO. Nonetheless, we had so many clips in this one. Check it out and I'll see you right there.